We're good.
Every time.
We're
good now?
Live.
We're on.
Yeah,
Mega,
go,
hit it.
go,
We're
go.
live again! Woo! 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 Destiny
We'll just wait till he gets back. Just wait.
The Spider Mag.
That's it. I'm done.
Mega, I'm
Where'd my
sorry.
headphones go?
We weren't actually live. You have to do it again.
3 times.
He's got his head.
Gotta go for a 3rd time, dude.
I'm not doing it again.
Could you do that one more time?
Just one
Like,
more.
0 times.
Take 3
Zero
then.
more times
Didn't
in
kick
my
in
life.
right away.
Unbelievable. No, it's over. I quit this podcast. I'm done. How do I end this call and never talk to you guys again?
That was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed that. But
Well
yeah,
done.
Glad.
so you're no longer Mega Illwitch anymore.
Good. I need to change that stereotype because people keep making me do it, and I'm tired of doing it. All right, I'm just tired. Tired of that. I was gonna be catching my breath for the next couple
You sit
minutes
there
of
and
the
you
podcast.
relax for just a minute. Link,
Yo.
kick us off here, buddy. Who are we? Where are we? What's going on?
what's
I
happening?
don't know. Who are you guys? Last I heard, this was a post-WrestleMania podcast, right, Mega?
It is.
That's what I'm here for.
That's right,
I'm here
brother.
talking.
Because when
That's right,
WrestleMania
brother.
runs
Let me hear it,
wild all
brother.
over you.
That's right.
We're gonna get
You're the
crazy.
Guardians in the world of Destiny, brother. And let me tell you something about the Guardians. They come and they put that 1, 2, 3 down on the darkness. And brother, let me tell you, they put them down hard like you have never seen in your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th lifetime, brother, because you've got a Guardian and you can come back for that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Brother Podcast of Planet Destiny, episode 116, brother. And I can't do that for the rest of the show. That hurts too much.
I'm so hoping that you would. That was so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I watch a lot of
Was that
wrestling, so
That was really
Was
good.
that the real Hulk Hogan here
it
talking
was.
to
It
us?
was the legitimate
Oh my
Hulk
gosh.
Hogan, and you better run, brother, because this is the PD podcast, man. We're a bunch of absolute professionals coming to drop some news bombs on people. Except there's
Yeah.
no news this week. We're just
Yeah.
here to talk about
So
stuff.
many
news.
updates and new things and
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's great.
the siege nudes that got leaked and
Oh, those
the
were great.
Deech news.
everything.
Let me
Right?
tell you, I was shocked and impressed by those nudes. That's all I can say. Honestly. Whew. I can't believe he has a 6-pack. Can you guys?
No.
Just did not
I
expect
counted
it.
12, not 6. I just like kept going. He had more pack than stomach. Very impressive.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
There's
man.
obviously plenty of Destiny content to talk about this week.
Oodles. Like, it's,
Yes.
Going down a dark path.
Before we get too far into this, I just want to say before we get too far into it, it's lovely to hear your voice again, Bones. For me,
Yeah.
since
It's lovely to hear yours.
since we've been dodging each other purposefully since our huge Twitter beef about emblems, months ago. So now we're finally
That got
on
heavy.
the podcast again
Which,
together.
by the way,
Here's where we finally figure out
Yeah.
who's right and who's wrong tonight.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
rip.
I actually do kind of like the new emblems.
They are pretty good.
They're nice.
some good
ones. Yeah, there's some good ones.
yeah,
All right,
new
let's get
challenges
into
with
it.
emblems. They're-
Have you guys
they're pretty
finished
big.
your Age of Triumph books yet?
Nope.
Or at least 100%?
Hell no.
no.
I'm at like 99 on mine, and I don't really want to like.
man.
I don't know what else to do to complete it.
He's keeping that last node until
Well, what's
the
left
day
in
that
the
they
book
turn
that
off the
you- I
Destiny
mean-
1 servers.
I think the last
What's
one
left
is
in
just
the book?
like, I mean, besides just like grinding out like
Go
melee
flawless.
kills on a hunter.
That's what it is. He's never. He's
Oh,
never been
nice one, dude.
flawless.
Actually, no, I haven't done much trials. I only have the flawless one finished because I haven't done much trials in the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in the same
But
spot,
I gotta,
man.
Exposed.
yeah, I gotta do the Axis challenge mode, from like the last challenge mode emblem or whatever, and I'm really like not looking forward to that because that challenge mode for some reason is harder to me than the other ones.
Well, that's because it's a hard challenge. I still haven't done it.
It is.
And the reason why is because it's too much coordination. You have to process too many things in too small of a time because, of course, you have to get your empowerment. The person who's empowered still has to slam axis, but before they can slam axis, you have a 3-second window where one of the other 2 people who are empowered has to go and charge out their super. And just in a live fire environment, that's really hard to coordinate. I mean, I know a lot of teams who get it done every single week and carry people through that, and thank God for them, because it's not me.
I'm gonna look 'em up.
Too much. Yeah. Carries, please. We take
Do you know
those.
that? Do you know their names, TBL? Can you send us to those
Can you
guys?
drop a little
'Cause I
plug?
was kind of
Yeah,
counting on
absolutely.
you.
There's this cool guy, Tefty Holtzman.
Okay.
Small people. You've never heard of them before.
Yeah.
Rings a bell.
Not familiar. Actually, wait, weren't they guests on this podcast once? Like one time? I feel like
Yeah, we
really
kind of
long-
made
yeah.
their career, so.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Basically established them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
that sounds about right.
That being said, though, I just a few minutes ago finished my third Atheon clear of the week, and Vault is pretty intense and
yeah.
it's good. I think the challenge modes are tough and they're fun. You feel pretty accomplished once you do nail that Atheon challenge mode, because that one requires, similar to the Axis one, a lot of like coordination in a very short window of time, and it's really satisfying once you get it down. But it's a good raid, and I got lots of loot.
Yep.
Very fun.
Yes,
Was-
agreed.
Really, really fun. This was the first time in a really long time that I did the raid on all 3 of my Guardians in
Yeah.
1 week. I can't remember the last time I did that. Seriously, I cannot remember the last time I did that.
Yeah, but did you do that specifically because it was amazing, or were you chasing the Vex Mythoclast?
No, I just did it because I wanted to. I don't know. I just,
Yo, let's
Fallout's
go.
like
went in-
as if I would
yeah.
ever attempt to use the Vex Mythoclast.
right?
What do you think I am, a pleb?
Yeah.
How to bring a slingshot into PvP.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. I don't know. I just booted up VOG with a couple of friends that we hadn't played in a while, and I was like, yeah, this is really, I don't know, it was entertaining. And I liked hunting down the Gorgons and killing each one in that part of the raid. That was so
challenge,
much
yeah.
fun. That was
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, I don't want to name drop, but I did it with this guy named Fallout Plays. He and I did it together, but yeah. Yeah, I agree, though. The Gorgons part was definitely my favorite thing of all of it. It was a challenge, but it wasn't like frustrating. It was like goofy fun.
It's goofy fun, yeah.
I'm hunting Gorgons.
And we had the people with the raise lighter sword, and they were whacking the final Gorgon, and he whacked him, and he slid up the wall, and everyone was like,
Yep.
"Oh shit! Like bring him back down, bring him back down."
We got him at like the last second.
Yeah,
It was
oh my gosh.
terrifying.
He
Yeah,
had
I
a
really
bead
was
stick
worried
of
we were
health.
gonna wipe.
With like a second left, and
We catapulted a numerous amount of those Gorgons with the Dark Drinker. They literally went flying across the labyrinth. They were like, no, come back, please.
Yeah, if they're on any sort of incline and you hit them with like a sword special, they just got to go fast, right on out of there.
Chase
and
after
that usually means you're dead. But yeah, Vault of Glass, it's back and it's a lot of fun. I've gone through it a couple of times this week, like 3 or 4 times this week. It's my favorite raid. It's my favorite bit of content that Destiny ever produced, and it's definitely held up. I've had a lot of fun with it, and a lot of fun getting through the challenges in there. The Templar challenge seems to be the one that hangs most crews. That seems to be the thing that takes most people to the most time to complete, and that was certainly true of my case. People were dying to like silly things, getting hugged by supplicants during the conflux.
Yep.
Or just dropping off the cliff when they've got the relic during the Templar fight. But overall, it's been a really, really enjoyable time running through there. I can't wait to, do it again and get more rewards for it. I got my Mythoclast, though.
Oh,
Nice. Me too.
that was the only thing I didn't get, man.
My
Really?
favorite,
Yeah, I
my
didn't get
favorite
it.
part of Vault of Glass, I just want to say, was watching TBL run it like the day it came out at 390 now, because I've watched him do it so many times, like way above light, and it was just like suddenly things could kill him, and it was like it was like Superman when Kryptonite's around him, he doesn't know what to do anymore. Like, what's happening to me? Like it was.
Yeah.
it
Vex
was
called their
funny to
older
me.
brothers.
Yeah. A couple of times those hobgoblins during the Templar tap you, and it's like, oh, this hurts. My shield is gone. Rip. Yeah.
You know the time. So you go into it opens up and you go inside after you make the spire pop up or whatever, and then there's that first drop off where you go down to like find the hidden chests. You know what I'm talking about? You have to like jump over a cliff and like go through the tiny hole or whatever. And if you're like a hunter or a titan, that's pretty easy. Really easy for a hunter because you just fall off and then you're just like boop and you just hop right in, right? So I played with my warlock first time through, and I took like 10 minutes to get into that goddamn hole because like you have to time it just right, because if you time the floof too late, you just floof straight down.
Yeah, you don't have enough like horizontal momentum.
Yeah, I'm used to floofing in PvP, where Warlock surfing, your goal is to push yourself into the ground as hard as you can so you can like bounce off the ground and skate around. And I'm just like, fuck, I can't get in the goddamn hole. And like everyone is just like sitting around the chest waiting.
Did you switch jumps to the one Warlock jump no one's ever used in like?
Yeah, I switched. Everyone in the chat was like, no, do this, don't do that. Like bounce off the wall. And I was like, shut up, everybody, shut up.
I've got this.
I can do that. That was probably the most satisfying moment of Destiny ever for me is watching Fallout struggle with something.
Sitting over there eating popcorn while
I was just chilling on that chest, like, man, is this guy ever gonna get here? What's going on?
Oh man!
How many times I hear Fallout go, I got it, and then Guardian down afterwards.
Link, you would have been proud of me, man, because I went through the first time and everyone was like telling me, what to do for the challenge mode. And I was like, okay, cool. And I'm like trying to figure out how to do it better and better. And then by the second time, I really had a handle on it. And then by the third time, I was helping my friends through the raid. Like I raid Sherpa'd people.
There we go.
Never has happened ever. And they're my friends. Like they were my original team from year one Destiny. And like they were the ones who took me through all the raids. And here I am showing them how to do the Templar challenge mode in like this new fancy way that they hadn't heard about. And I don't know, it was awesome. I had a really good time.
I have to say my favorite. One of my favorite things. Favorite loot?
Yeah.
We can talk about loot.
Yes.
I got the Praetorian foil, and that was. I got the timepiece was also another gun I had never had because those were so rare. So it was really cool to get a gun that I'd never ever used before, which is not too common these days when you play as much as us. But that gun is a monster, and it's great for the raid because you can one-shot an Oracle. So in the Atheon section, it's just like switch that out, vote it once, get back out of there. Really great. But in PvP, I actually really enjoy it too. And reactive reload does not perk a lot. Really hard to get perked, but it usually kills in 4 bolts. And when with reactive reload, each bolt does 67, so you can kill in 3 bolts on a fusion rifle, which is just like insane. But I've got some crazy distance voops from that gun. I'm very happy to have that one. It's a new part of my loadout.
Wow.
I was pretty happy with my guns, except for I didn't get a single legendary primary. I got only exotics from VOG. Like son of a bitch. I just want to be able to equip like Fatebringer and Sleeper during the raid or something.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
Yeah, I got the legendary Atheons, and that one's really really helpful for Atheon phase 2 because you can get out of a detainment field really quickly and get an Oracle if you need to with primary. So it's definitely nice to have those legendary vault weapons. I also really enjoyed after I had got a bunch of guns, because I got so many guns in my first 2 runs that my running on my Warlock for the 3rd time was cool to have full sets of vault gear, which was like the way to do it back in the day because you needed all of those Oracle perks and stuff. And it was so cool to just be like running vault, put on all my vault stuff. And that's what made it really fun for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Mega. I got pretty much all the primaries except for the epilogue, which is fine by me because I got my Fatebringer and my Vision of Confluence on like the same run. So I was super happy about that, but I didn't get any legendary primaries until my 3rd run when I got 1 legendary Fatebringer, and it was like, I mean, I'd like to use Vision of Confluence too, but okay. It's kind of the opposite of what I got with Crota's End, where it's just like I got everything on my first 3 runs, legendary and exotic ones.
That's such a year 3 first person problem. Like if we could talk to year 2 versions of ourselves, but I only got the exotic Fatebringer. Like just punch your future self.
I'm sorry,
in the
you
dick,
got
like,
6 new guns this week, and you're bitching right now. Like, oh my bad.
It's only really the armor that's like reserved, isn't it? Really, because I don't think anyone gets a huge percentage of armor drops.
Actually, no, I got all of it except for the legs on both my Titan and my Hunter.
Cool.
Like I was stacked with armor. It was perfect for me because the armor is what I need more than anything for my shit. So,
Same here. I still have as of yet to get any armor from Crota's End. None.
Wow.
I haven't got anything from him.
Wow,
none. I think I got 1 piece of armor, and it was like the chest piece for my Hunter. That's it.
Wow.
And it's been 2 weeks. So
jeez.
I'm a bad person. The only armor I got was the helmet for my Hunter, And when I got it, I was like, yeah, dude, like I never got the Hunter Vogue helmet before. It looks so cool with like the Vex light in the middle. And it's like, oh, what a cool design. And then like later that night, I was on Item Manager and I opened it up. I was like, 88%. I'm gonna fuse it real quick. It's like, what have I done?
Rip.
Yeah.
I have some really bad gear that I've just ornamented because it's just like I'm never gonna get a good drop. I can't just sit on ornaments for up until Destiny 2, so I've just dealt with it. But I've got my Crota helmet is 96%, and I'm just like, great, something I can actually wear, and everything else will just be PvE in the tower.
I got a good pair of Vault-Glass legs for Warlock. I got the Vex legs.
Oh, dang it. I'm jealous.
And that
I
was
want
all,
those
they
so
were
badly.
all right. They weren't the best, but like I had a chest piece with sidearm ammo and the really bad stat roll on it.
I mean, not that long ago, that would have been an awful waste of a perk. And now, look at us now. We're like, okay, well, that's pretty
How
good.
far things have come.
I remember, I just want to say, I specifically remember a few, like a month ago or 2 months ago, reading Bones' tweets where he's like, I'm never going to want anything with sidearm ammo perks on it. Like, you tweeted that, and I just think it's really funny that's like, now that's the meta. Like, that's the thing.
To be honest, I still just like don't even equip sidearm
still don't want
perks.
it.
I'm just like, screw this. Like,
Bones
Sticking
is
to
a
your
little
guns, I
silent
like
protest to Bungie every single
Yeah, well,
time.
it's
He's like,
like
I'm not putting this on.
and now that all the raid gear I get, I'm definitely not using sidearms in a raid. Like I'm using shotguns in a raid. I'm using fusion rifles with Praetorian foil in certain instances, and definitely using a sniper. But I still don't want a sidearm. That doesn't help me in any way. So to get raid armor with that is just like insulting.
It's a shame.
Insulting. So angry.
How dare you?
Yeah, so of course.
So,
Go ahead,
sorry,
sir.
Nick. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Nothing I was going to say is important. Do it.
Oh, same here, man. I got Praetorian foil as well for the second time because the first time round I got it. I think it was towards the very end of year 1, and I got it and I deleted it, and I felt very silly. So I got a second chance. I had a chance to redeem myself this time around, and I'm looking forward to spinning that one.
It's a good gun. I mean, I think there's certain cases where, like in the earlier phases, or if there's a Praetorian in front of you and you need to keep it off the point, sometimes a shotgun just does the DPS faster. But if you are regularly using reactive reload, a full charge can almost kill a Praetorian, which is crazy. Like it's a really heavy hitting special. So it's the one time I'm going to use a fusion in PvE, and that's just because it has a very unique.
Yeah,
it has unique perks on it.
Yeah, unique set of perks.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked a little bit about the gear we've gotten. What did you guys think about the challenges for Vault of Glass themselves? Did you guys think they were rough, easy?
You know what?
Cool.
I think they were pretty tough, but I have to say that running the Relic in Templar is one of my favorite Destiny experiences.
Yeah.
And I get a lot out of the carried items. I love sword. I love cannons in Axis. I always want to be the cannon guy because it's so fun to fly around and get those like long distance tags on the where you just feel like kind of a hot shot, but no one would ever care.
When everybody is like arc on left, and you just zoom in and
and you're like, I'm already there, man. I nailed it already. Like you called out arc on left while I was blowing it up.
Oh no, that's my favorite thing when they're like, you got to shoot it, and like I'm turning away and it explodes behind me. I'm like, oh yeah.
You're doing the walk away, hold the charge a little bit. Yeah. But today we did a bunch of attempts, and most of the strategies I used were just Relic takes the one pillar and 2 bubbles handle with the other teleport. But today I got to carry it, and we did the Relic strategy blocking both teleports, where you basically butterfly around the back pillars and go back and forth. So much fun. I just love being that guy that has to like jump into it in the right time and hold the shield and fly around and pick up some blessings on my way through a bubble around the back. It's just a really, really fun strategy, and honestly, one of the safer ones, even if you can. You know, there's those guys like Esoteric uploading clips of like how to kill Templar in 30 seconds total, and I'm just like, my team cannot handle that.
Right?
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. being the relic runner was always one of my favorite things, and it's one of the reasons why Vault of Glass is my favorite experience in Destiny. Because it's just such a cool experience. You pick that thing up, you're swinging yourself all over the battlefield. You've got this shield, you've got a super. You're so integral to the fight, and it just feels you feel like an agile blade, a more agile blade dancer with the relic shield, in my opinion. And it's just a really, really fun way to play. And yeah, I noticed that a lot of teams were kind of trying to still do the old strat, which is everybody goes to right side and tries to sit by a pillar. And that doesn't work so well when everything's 390 and like you're preventing teleports and suddenly there's 8 Praetorians right on top of you. And yes, but people sitting in like the back and the mid where you kind of skate through if you're butterflying between the 2 points is a really good strategy because most of a lot of enemies spawn there, but they all move to like the left or the right and leave that area kind of empty. So that's a great strat for teams who are having trouble with the Templar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I thought the challenge, they didn't really change too much there other than the fact that you can't cleanse oracles now. You have to destroy them. I thought that was a really good change. And, but you're preventing teleports, you only really have to worry about the first round of oracles, and then the rest is just staying alive and keeping the teleports from happening. And I thought that was a good challenge. I think it's probably the hardest part of Vault of Glass right now, at least based on the experiences that I've been through. But I thought it was fun. Really fun. I enjoy it.
I had a blonde moment when one of the oracles I noticed was red. I was like, oh, look, it's a different colour. It was as if I went past a shop window and saw something really nice on sale and everything just stopped. So I was like, oracle's a different colour. Wow.
It's pretty, yeah. And more murderous because you can't skip it anymore. If you ignore it, you're gone, which is a good way to handle that.
Agreed.
Okay, so I've been waiting all week to ask this to you guys in particular, and of course to everybody in chat and everybody who's going to be listening to this or watching this later on. Okay, so Bungie made the statement that the Athean challenge was going to be the hardest thing they ever did in Destiny. Now that you guys have all played it, do you think it's the hardest challenge in the game?
Yo, I curb stomped that motherfucker. Yeah. 1 damage round.
Exactly. Done. Agreed.
I played with a really good bunch of strapping folks, so I don't know. I wouldn't. Maybe not the hardest. No. Like super easy.
Maybe they meant it was the hardest because you'll keep accidentally sleepering yourself, killing the oracles like I did, like 8 times.
Did that?
We had more than a few wipes because of that, and I don't know how we just kept. I've never killed myself with sleeper before this week. Like every fucking
it does happen.
It's just so many rounds start immediately.
The thing I think that is kind of interesting is like when they say harder, is it like? Are your odds for completing it lower? Would it change if Atheon had 4 times the damage, so you had to do something 4 times, like King's Fall? There's like how many times you have to do Oryx challenge mode. You kind of do the cycle 4 times and then blow up all the bombs. Is that technically more difficult, or is the Atheon more technically challenging? I think the Atheon health pool definitely impacts if it feels hard or not. That might change my opinion if it were like, okay, you got to do this 4 times. But I just did it with a 2-time clear today, and the first couple times we definitely went for the 1 phase, but today sometimes we did not have. We didn't have someone with sleeper or anything else, so we just sort of knew our DPS would be lower. So that instead of going totally ham on Atheon at 10 seconds, we all just killed supplicants and hopped out and just played it real safe, and we just got good at the oracles part. So. I don't know if it was as difficult, but I think what really strikes me is kind of nice about a raid where you wipe a lot, because that's what you do in a raid. Sometimes you die over and over and over, and one person misses a jump and you all just say, all right, that's a wipe. I like that the engagement is not like 20 minutes long, because the worst thing about King's Fall and why people don't like it is you get so far into those rotations, like I was saying, and then someone's like, missed my jump, and you're like,
oh my god.
Okay, that was 18 minutes we just spent. Now start over. At least in Atheon, it's like, I missed my oracle, but it's all about, it's been about, what, a minute 40 since we started over, so we don't, it's same with Templar, where it's like, okay, let's just start over. And I think that makes it so much more worth it to just keep that grind and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If it's like what you were saying about his damage, if it took multiple rotations to beat that, like more than 2 to beat Atheon, I think it would easily be like one of the hardest things, just because I found
absolutely.
myself like, you burn through your ammo after a couple rotations of ways to kill oracles quickly, and then it's like I'm just stuck with a primary only, and we all have to kill oracles like really like that fast. That would be brutal because there's not
At
a
that
second
point it becomes
to like
necessary
stop and pop
to-
synths really like
Yeah,
in the middle of the encounter.
You would have to have a raid primary to kill oracles fast enough to use your primary
basically,
ammo, which would make that a big requirement.
Yeah.
And we've got King's Fall to look forward to.
Have fun with that next week.
Yeah.
It's this week, yeah.
Yeah.
I was sort of talking about that with the squad and sort of thinking like, well, these challenge modes aren't different, right? There's no changes to these. So we've
it's
done
probably
the
gonna be the
challenge
same.
modes. And they'll all be active, which is great. But it's not as bad as it sounds because my plan was to just skip Golgoroth challenge mode. I mean, still kill him, but skip the challenge mode. So if you're doing it that way, you do War Priest challenge, which is at this point the easiest way to defeat the War Priest is to do it in the 3 phases. That's just how you should play it. So there, you get an Age of Triumph ornament for that. Forget Golgoroth because that one is a pain and very difficult. and this raid is long, and then just move on and do King's Fall. And if your team likes the challenge mode, I tend to think the challenge mode is probably the easiest way to do it, just because you're not doing 4 instances of getting bombs off. And there you go. Then you get plenty of stuff, and you don't have to worry about Golgoroth. If you do need that, if you have not done Golgoroth, then good luck. Challenge mode sucks. But for those of us who have done it a bunch in year 2, it's definitely, I think it'd just be a nicer experience to not go, all right, tonight we got to do 3 challenge modes, and we'll be here for 5 hours.
It definitely is going to suck for someone who's never done any of the King's Fall challenges, whoever that might be.
Well, if you're out there.
Yeah. I avoided them like the play. I was like, after doing King's Fall a couple times and having all those frustrating moments, like you mentioned, of wiping after long attempts at segments, I was like, I think I'm just going to pass completely on making them more difficult. I think that's just not going to be a thing that I ever try to do. So I got that to look forward to. I have to do it now. So I'm a little bit excited and also terrified for what's coming.
At a certain point, you kind of feel like a degenerate gambler in Vegas because you're just like, oh my god, I'm down like 5,000 at the table. Like, I need to just walk away. I've been doing this raid for like 4 hours. Haven't completed the challenge. I just need to walk away, but I want to break even. We got to do it this time, guys. One more time, please.
Gotta
Kevin,
complete it.
You missed the jump, Kevin. You fucking bastard. God.
It's even harder if you're like streaming while you play the raid because you don't want to end on failing if there's people watching and they watched you try so many times. You're like, we can't fucking end this until we at least beat this part. Like, it's just
The funny thing about doing 3 raids in a week now, which is not something I did very much before this either, is like when you're doing it with like a regular group and you're going like, okay guys, well let's set up, we'll do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. We messed it up. I think this happened in Crota, but we were like all using just the character we wanted to use. And then we're like, all right, let's do it again. And we hop in and we're like, we have 5 warlocks. You guys all use your Titans and Hunters.
Good team comp.
So we ended up having to just get checkpoints and bringing in a Titan to do Crota, and then like killing Crota a second time for our ults and stuff. But like we made that mistake, and now we're going like, okay, someone has to use their warlock for this one, so we don't have 5 at the end of the week, because that's just, Titans are the new heroes. I mean, they are the raid heroes. They're now the best sword carriers. I mean,
absolutely,
Titans are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Titans, they were always, pretty darn good in PvE, and defenders were always the heroes of raids, and I think that's never been more true than now. When do you go through a Crota run without at least one Titan there to protect people with a bubble from those pesky tower knights and that spooky wizard that spawns if you poke them in the butt? And, that's good, because I've seen a lot of build diversity in the past couple of weeks with these raids, but Titans have really taken a shining spot. Yeah. And I like that because, Defender is a class that you don't see too often out there in the world. And I'm glad that they're seeing little bit more of the sunshine right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun running the sword on a defender, which again, I don't really run Titan in raids too often too. So it's kind of like a new fun thing for me, but I'm like really getting close to getting those like perfect sword runs. And cause we do the 2 bubbles on the rocks, get the weapons and blessings. So when you hop up, you're just ready to go. And I really want to get to the 3-face thing, like 3 kneels, because I got a sword where I got Crota down to like 3/4 of the damage was done already. And I got back to the center room and then, scoped in across to see where his damage was. And I was like, oh my God, I wrecked him. And I was just like,
best feeling ever.
So I want to try to get to, I want to see if I can do like a 1 sword thing. That'd be nuts.
People who are good sword bearers are like the most impressive. They're the greatest heroes in my life, honestly. Like, I love them more than anything. The only times that I've done like Crota that we didn't have like a good sword bearer, we were just struggling, like trying to do the challenge forever. Like it took us like an hour, just like we kept having one person fuck up the sword because we only had like 2 people who ever run it, and we weren't good enough to take him down in 2 phases. And then we brought in one of my friends who's like amazing at raids, and he grabs the sword and gets Crota down like how you got him. Like he's like, I could have done better damage. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Really funny. When they did Crota the week before for the new raid or new 390 raid, that was the first time I'd ever been a sword bearer on Crota.
Really?
Ever.
Nice. Me too.
Yeah, because when you would do raids back in the day, everyone had like, at least in my group, everyone had their defined role. Mm-hmm. And once you went through it and we're like, okay, same time next week, great. Why would you change anything? Yeah. You want to do the raid as quickly as you can. And I was with a new group and I was streaming and I was like, you know what? I want to do the sword. I want to do it. Yeah. And at first it was like, what the frick am I doing? But then, you do it like 3 times and I'm like, yeah, I've seen my brother do this like a million times. So like, I just love the feeling like you get the timing just right. Like you jump up from the rock as the rockets are coming in. The timing is key. So like right when you swing over to him, he's taking that knee, and that's like the best feeling ever. Though. Right when you get there, he starts going down. You're like, oh, you're gonna get fucking murdered right now.
Bitch.
And then Bones that feeling. You're just like, oh, take it, you bastard. And then like you run back to the room, and you're like, how much did I do? How much did I do? Like, oh, dude, I did 75%. Yeah, motherfucker.
Once I got the hang of the super, because the sword super helps you cancel the smash animation. Yeah, and that's where it's just like I realized like never should this raid take more than 2 swords. You can do it comfortably. You don't have to try to go for 75, but if you do 60%, you're golden. Just make it easier for your second sword bearer. But once you get a hang of that and leaving some orbs up there, so when you pick up the sword, you're closer to that super, and then it's just like smash, super smash, and you're just like, you feel awesome.
My first time ever running sword this last week was I was playing in my warlock, which I never play on. And I just remember I grabbed the sword. I was like, all right, this is going to be my moment. I'm going to be a hero. I do the floofy ass warlock jump that I don't know how to do. Immediately overshoot the rock and like land behind it and don't get a single hit in my sword bear. I'm like, all right, crushed it.
Off to a good start.
So I try to avoid running the sword, but
it's funny that you said that about the rolls fallout, because I remember like even before Crota hard mode came out, because that was when everyone went to the ledge. I remember I was really proud of myself for being the guy to like snipe the boomers. And we used to put like 2 people, and I'm like, no, I can solo the boomers and stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, I do miss having
That's what I do.
Like, I don't mind. Hey, it's like my turn to run my warlock. On the next 2 raids, I'll have a sword bearing character. That's fine. But like, it is kind of boring to just go out there, shoot a rocket. Shoot a rocket. Yeah. All right, let's go back inside. It's just like, man, I miss having something to do here. And there was. But I'll take that over spending any longer in a raid like we used to.
Yeah.
Getting the defined roles down, and that's a thing with really raids in any sort of MMO. It happened in Vault of Glass. People had defined roles where before they randomized the teleports during Atheon, that people would do that. They'd say, okay, who here has ever held a relic? Okay, you and you. All right, you 2 move forward. Everybody else move back. And then, because they would control that teleport, and it kind of sucks that Bungie changed that. I understand what they did, and it's ultimately a good thing because, it forced everybody to learn the encounter. But yeah, having those designated roles, and specifically for sword bearers, it's really impressive the time mastering that timing to get up there. Because you're absolutely right, Fallout. When you have that sword and you call for the rockets, you have to be up there right as those rockets are coming in before they hit, so you can get the maximum amount of damage out with that combo. And on your second kneel, you should have built up your super, and you, just like Bone said, you can cancel the R2 slam with the super, and if you're fast enough, you can actually get in an R1, R1, R2, which is the uppercut combo, slam, super, and then one more swing in before you go flying on out of there if you're up there perfectly. And the timing for that, I'm always ludicrously impressed by people who can always get up there perfectly and nail that stuff. It's really good stuff. And that's why running relics or swords is always one of my favorite things to do. Because it's just a fun feeling. You grab that sword, you fly around there. It's fun to get up there and do that stuff. And I'm glad that those experiences are back and relevant right now in the game.
You bring up an interesting point about...
damn it.
What do you want to stop about?
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's very important to me. TVL said Atheon, and I just want to know if he's always said Atheon or if he said Atheon at one point and he has changed since the trailer came out. Because I've started saying Atheon now, and but I always said Atheon. I just want to know if it's been a switch.
All right, now this is something I have been waiting almost 3 years for somebody to call me on, for somebody to say. I know you're a fan of Bill Burr, Mega.
Yes.
Do you listen to his podcast?
Yes.
Modal?
Metal?
Ever since year one, I haven't really known exactly how you were supposed to pronounce it, so I always said it both ways. Like some weeks in videos, I'd say Atheon, and then next week in videos, I'd say Atheon. Sometimes, especially in Planet Destiny videos, just to mess with the audience and see what they would freak out and say, like, no, it's Atheon. No, it's Atheon. And I've been doing that for like the 3 years that this game has been out, waiting for somebody to finally be like, wait, you said it both ways. And now that we've got a trailer officially saying Atheon, it's cool. So thank you. It took 3 years, but thank you, Mega.
No problem.
You did it, man.
I just want to know how
I think it's like
very important to me.
Story and the speaker both say aluminium. And I say aluminum. And the speaker can say Atheon all he wants, and it's Atheon to me, because that's just
Preach it, Bones.
how we say it.
So we're all agreeing
argument in chat.
that Story and the speaker and people with weird accents say things wrong, and the rest of us say them right.
No, just different.
Yeah, his name is Atheon. So when you say it, say Atheon.
His real name is actually Ethan. He's very angry about that.
Just lost in vexed translation there, huh?
Freaking speaker. I'm not taking pronunciation advice from people who wear masks with no eye holes on them.
Yeah, man.
How do you know what you're reading? Right?
Right?
Oh my gosh, you're opening up my eyes right now to how wrong he is. All right, so that's my sidetrack. That's it. I just really wanted to know. I wanted answers on this.
I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
Like I said, you're the chosen one. I've been waiting.
Good.
TBL brought up something interesting about the role and the feeling and stuff like that, but I did want to ask you guys and the chat about like what is kind of preferred, because Destiny is a shooter and there's raids in this shooter, but it doesn't quite reach the status of an MMO in so many ways. Do you like the shining hero role where someone carries a relic for an entire section, or is stuff like Axis where everyone has kind of a very equal responsibility more your taste, or is there some combination of the two that you prefer in a raid? Because we're going to have a new one fairly soon. We're going to have to go kill Gaul. I'm just gonna.
Gary.
You can't just call him Gaul like that's acceptable
Look,
now.
some people call him Gary and some people call him Gaul.
Who you're talking about right now?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. I certainly like scenarios where people can have set defined roles, and it gives certain players a sense of purpose. Like, you're exactly right. When the normal group that I raid with, my buddy Black Fox, he loves taking relic and he loves taking sword. That's like his thing. Maybe he just likes being the center of attention, but I don't know. That's been his thing since Destiny started. And I've played tons of other MMOs. I play a tank mostly in MMOs, and I love doing that. I love taking that defined role. And Destiny, it is kind of like an MMO in that it has classes and RPG elements and stuff like that. It's a massively multiplayer online game, but it doesn't take defined roles to the point that, say, Overwatch does for a first-person shooter. You don't have like a defined tank class, even though Titans are very tanky. You can run a tanky warlock. You can run a tanky hunter. You'll just be laughed at. But I'm not opposed to there being encounters in the game that have set defined roles that, you can choose who to pick. Like, I think a great example of this is actually King's Fall. One of the most dreaded sections, and he's going to hate me for this. I'm going to use my little brother as an example, who plays with me all the time. He's fine with taking like relic rolls and whatnot, but he absolutely hates being the relic person in King's Fall. During the daughters phase, when you got to go and jump on the platforms and all that stuff, and the same thing for Oryx, he hates that. It always confused him, and like he just never liked the pressure of that situation. Because if you miss a platform, it's like, this kid just ruined our 5-hour run.
Yeah.
And I think in situations like that, it's great that during the Oryx fight, you can designate who does that. I love that. And during the daughters fight, you can't. It randomly picks somebody who's torn between dimensions and has that. And
Daughter's fight is that moment when the teacher randomly calls on you in class and you don't want to fucking get picked.
You're just like, of course I don't know.
Rip.
That's a bad teaching strategy as someone who studied education.
Why don't you read the first 3 paragraphs? Why don't you shut the fuck up?
But yeah, and so I love sections that you can designate a role and have somebody who's comfortable in that position, knows what to do in that position, take charge and do that. And I also really like the opposite end of the spectrum, the Athian encounter, teleporting people between the past and the future. And, the 3 people who get teleported may not necessarily know what to do with the relic. They may not have ever been through Vault, know what to do with the oracles, but they still have to learn it. So, like I said, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I think there's a good, healthy mixture of it, and I hope that continues with Destiny 2.
I'm a beta. All right, I'm a beta male when it comes to Destiny. I'm just gonna.
Somebody please clip that. Yeah. I will give $5 to the first person who clips that audio.
Let me clip that
and
real
email it
quick.
to my Gmail account. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. I know my role. All right, I'm a support bitch. When I play Overwatch, I don't have any confidence in myself. I play support in that too because I'm like, I don't want to be the one who has to kill people. So I feel the most comfortable and least stressed in the raid throughout when it's those moments where there's a hero moment where like somebody else can take the sword and I don't have to. I'm like, great, this isn't on me. I'm happy right now. But I will say that I do feel more fulfilled in the moment when in those ones where we all have to kind of work together and come together and do stuff. Even though I get a little more stressed about screwing up, when we finally complete it, I feel better. So I think it's better overall design in my mind for it to be the one where we all kind of have to work together, even though it's worse. A little bit better for me personally.
You've
got
to have a good
little
team
bitch.
though. Like I remember the first time doing Sword and Crota's End way back when it was like the raid to do. Like I was never the Sword guy. It was always a good friend of ours that played Sword, and I just asked, do you mind if I just pick this up and have a go with it? I've never done it and I don't want to be the one that never steps forward and does it. And they were all like super patient, and having that kind of a team that are like, yeah man, I don't mind playing this for 15-20 minutes while you get acquainted with twatting Crota with a sword. And it was great, man. And then I got a G-Horn out of it, like on first one on PlayStation.
Hey, there you go.
See it from running on sword. So when you're with a nice raid team that has got the time and the patience for that kind of thing, it's real nice, man. So you can step forward and give it a go. But
I know that's tough in LFG, but like I do recommend people do that. Is just say like, and think it like you can always phrase it this way, where it's like we did this in Vault because we had someone who has not rated much, and we were like, this is we can't trigger this. Like let's just do it a couple times, we'll get the feel for it. Don't think like the first attempt is kill attempt, and if you can do that, then you feel much better about the third, fourth, and fifth attempts, and you're not thinking like we should have won the first time. So I think that's really important. And at this point, if you've never run the sword, like please just say like, can I just try it? And I'll just be like, yeah, we'll do that for the warm-up rounds. And if you feel like you're killing it, then go.
I like it. Beautiful.
I might be alone as well.
You guys are nicer than my raid team.
Yeah, I might be alone, but I'm really looking forward to King's Fall on Tuesday.
I kind of am. I've had fun.
I'll watch.
I'll watch. There you go.
I'll watch.
My man.
I have to do it with Kaiba. I told him I'd do it on the Planet Destiny channel, but I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know. The last time I tried to do King's Fall, I made it like halfway through, and then I was like, oh my god, there's still so much of this left right now that I just couldn't bring myself to finish it. So.
Running that 3 times on reset day might be a
say
little
that
bit
happening
much.
with me.
That will be the one I'm not going to do on all 3 characters. I'm positive. Like I don't have the time.
I want
for that.
my Warlock helmet, and that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm out of there.
I want a Hunter helmet and a Warlock helmet, and maybe a Zoli's Bane, because that's got range. So I want to see what that's like. I love the Smite of Merain as well. That was my favorite pulse rifle, but it's
Smite of Moraine, yeah.
it doesn't shine so much anymore these days. But yeah, an exotic version of that wouldn't go amiss just for old time's sake. But it's all about them helmets, man. Hunter helmet, Warlock helmet,
the armor.
Warlock helmet is so sick.
and it,
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's pretty much the only reason to run it, in my opinion. I was actually having this kind of inner monologue the other day, like, oh yeah, next week's King's Fall. I'm probably going to have to run it since, I stream for PD and all that. But then I thought, I don't want any of the weapons from this raid. Literally none of them. I want none of them. So I could just kind of axe that off. I guess really the only thing I'd be looking forward to would be just getting the armor. And maybe a Smite of Moraine. Do we know what element the Adept version is going to be? Please tell me Void.
I think it's a Void Arc. It's an Arc Scout. An Arc Scout and a... I don't know. I remembered, but, those guns are just so blech.
I think
hand cannon might be Void, which would be
That's
silly.
my thing. Somebody was talking about like how you've got 3 challenges, so you can get all the gear faster than you could with the other ones. And I'm like, great, I can get my favorite King's Fall primaries. Yay!
That's why I'm skipping Golgoroth, because I don't care that much.
Exactly.
And give me to the helmet. That's all I want.
I want the armor. That's what I'm playing for too as well. I actually still use the King's Fall rocket launcher because I'm a weirdo and I love cluster bombs. And I know
that is weird.
I know. Insulting to you guys
in every way.
Hey, don't fucking tell me what to use. I like my bony rocket launcher. All right, how dare you? I am a pleb. All right. I never claimed to be great. I said quite the opposite.
Like he says,
10 minutes ago, I'm a beta. All right.
a beta. A white
yes.
beta.
Whoa.
Just slip that in there.
Jeez. Somebody was listening.
No story. He said beta male. He gets beaten by his wife.
Oh,
It's
exactly.
the other way around.
I get you.
Usually there's leather involved.
What the hell are we saying right now?
Planet Destiny rated X.
That's right. Destiny After Dark.
Destiny for the bros.
Did you guys want to go to questions? Because we were trying to limit ourselves
already
to
time for
60
that?
minutes. Yeah, 60
Oh, yeah,
minutes.
While you
some
guys,
raids, some
while
good
you
raid
suss up
stuff.
questions, I have one last story about this week in Destiny from myself.
Go on.
I ended up randomly looking myself up on Trials Report, and I think there's some sort of glitch because my PlayStation account's ELO from only playing with Fallout and the Fun Police ever on there in Trials is 1920 right now for my ELOs. So my plan is, what I really want to do is look at LFG posts asking for high elo and try to get just troll the shit out of them when they have to play with me.
Do it.
So I want to thank Fallout for the rage that is going to be coming at me eventually when I do that.
That'll make a good video.
This guy on LFG's got a 1900 ELO. Oh,
Right?
man.
People are going to think that I'm running stacked when I'm getting carried by Fallout or something. They're like, oh my God, look at these guys. Why is this one dude got a 1900 elo and a 0.4 KD? What the fuck? That's what I'm anticipating. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's it. That's my last little Destiny story. Get us a question, Fallout. Do your job.
Right on.
I'm
Hey, I got a question
for your job.
Fallout's
Bones
taking
has
too
one.
long. I
Thank
got
God.
one.
Thank God.
Illusion Fox asks, would you like to see old Destiny stuff, armors, ships, etc., in Destiny 2 later in its lifespan?
In a limited capacity.
Yeah. I don't want them to use it
Good
as
call.
a crutch. It'd be kind of fun, but I don't want them to be well, we don't have to make new stuff because we can just use this old stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would be cool if a few select exotics eventually made their way there. Like, yeah, you know, maybe a Thorn or Yallarhorn or something eventually made its way to Destiny 2 in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't be mad about that at all. No.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I expected them to do it on a very restrained scale, I'm thinking, because like I can imagine the benefits of not bringing over the Arsenal from year one has like enabled a fresh slate for D2. So like if they were going to bring a lot of stuff back, then they would be presenting possibly the same balancing conundrums that, you know, were in year one maybe. But I also love that nostalgia side of it as well. So I guess it can swing both ways and stuff. But ships, yeah, sure. I mean, like cosmetic stuff, you know, that doesn't present any kind of difficulties or anything. So yeah, let's have at it.
Agreed.
Here, here. Here's a good question from our friend DT. We know him. He was on last week, friend of the show. 3 of coins, yay or nay in some form for Destiny 2. Forge your own path in PvP. So forge your own path in PvP or run raid umpteen times for exotic. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I honestly don't like 3 of coins. I think
either.
It's like the least exciting way to get the most exciting weapons. And like, I don't know. Exotic engrams are great. Why not drop those in weird places? Like, the last time an exotic was interesting to me it was the night that math class was solving the Outbreak Prime step. And we were in the raid following along going like, oh, okay, we're like right at that step. Let's do what they're doing. So when we opened that thing and there's a chest in there and you get that first exotic engram, I got Ophidian aspects out of that. And it was just like, because it was attached to that kind of crazy cool thing. But yeah, I do think there needs to be some sort of accomplishment for that. And honestly, like, I think few people will agree with me, but I mean, as long as there's other venues, this can't be the only way to get a gun. But if you went if you got like 30 kills with a 5.0 KD, so for whatever stat bar, and you got an exotic, cool. That'd be great. I don't mean to say that like the only way to get Thorn is to have the best game in PvP, because that would never work. But honestly, like that would be great. I'd feel like it'd be so great to just be like, wow, I just destroyed in that match, and then I got this cool gun, as opposed to Tweedledee over there in last place with a 0.2 KD gets the Gjallarhorn like you did in year one.
All day.
Yeah, see, I agree with that, because there's like a disconnect almost when you think about like a 3 of coin dropping an exotic, because exotics are these mythical guns that have this lore surrounding them, and I just like got it from grinding the same strikes like over and over again for like the 1,000th time. I killed Valis, and he just happened to have like the fucking last word on him for some reason.
I've got
like,
600 strange coins, so I'm going to buy 110 3 of coins, and then I'm going to do that every Crucible game while I play Crucible for an hour. It has like nothing of significance.
I would like it more if the way that you got them. I like when they're linked to quests. I like when they're super hidden like Outbreak, and I like what Bones said about having like specific things you have to achieve to get them. Yeah,
just lame when Xur shows up and you're like, oh, I really wonder what he has. Oh, that's what he has? Great.
Yeah.
7 more days with no exotic weapon. And me with all these goddamn coins that I'm never going to use.
That's the thing though, like back when exotics were seriously exotic, they were some of the best guns that you could get your hands on.
True.
And I think they had to do something about it. They had to change the system, because like it was literally forever you could be trying to get a certain gun that you had an interest in, and like, you know, I've been playing the game for 4 months, still no Hawkmoon. You think, well, how do we deal with that? And like, then I look at my dad, who's, you know, 69, and 3 of coins have been not just his way to level up with light, but actually to broaden his exotic collection. So when you look at the game on the respect of it is meant for everybody. You know, like things, 3 of coins do have like a purchase there, I guess. But at the same time, now, like if that conundrum 3 months ago, I'm like, no, 3 of coins should definitely stay. And now I'm like, you can get exotics almost everywhere now. Yeah. So do we really need them now with having a much more generous loot dropping system, which I think is a bit more beneficial for newcomers and veterans and, you know, casual players as well as the hardcore players? I think that more drops, a more generous nature is a better way around it than Three of Coins.
Story, you also bring up a good point, is that like all of it was in response to how we got them and the status that they had, and then eventually those things changed. I think quests are probably the best way to do it. And the other thing that I think is going to be kind of refreshing is that there won't be 87, 90 some exotics. Like when we start Destiny 2, there will not be that many. So all of them can have a little more importance, a little more like, ooh, I can't wait to get that one. And we'll see the meta will be revolving around a smaller amount of weapons, which I think will be great. So I'm really excited to just like slim down the inventories quite a bit, and then maybe that with less exotics we can have more importance on achieving whatever you need to do to get them.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a difficult thing for Bungie to balance, in my opinion, because this game, it is a looter shooter, very much in the veins of like, say, Borderlands, which Borderlands does have kind of the same tiering of weapons as Destiny. You've got your commons, your rares, your legendaries, and your super crazy exotic tier of weapons. Actually, I think they call those legendaries. But in a game like Destiny, I much prefer exotics being tied to quests. I think that's cool. When you're just completing stuff and like you pick up a weird random triangle drop out there in the world and suddenly it starts off the Sleeper Simulant quest line. I think that's really cool. That's a really awesome feeling to get like, oh, what's this? This is going to take me on a crazy journey to get one of the best weapons in the game. And I love that. But on the other hand, you know, with the amount of guns they had in the game in Destiny 1 with certain exotics, they weren't going to tie all of those behind quests. And I can understand why they put some of those guns just in the game as random drops from enemies, or, you know, put in an item in the game that makes those guns or that makes those items drop randomly, because it is all a part of that carrot on the stick thing, you know, for people who don't have time to get into the quest lines. Like Story said, his dad doesn't get all into the super quest lines and whatever. He's just out there playing, and maybe he just wants a chance at an invective or something like that. And so moving forward, while I do prefer exotics being tied to a quest, I think moving forward, they're probably going to have it much the same as they did in year one, where certain exotics are just going to be out there in the drop pool. Like maybe tied even more so to the way like Borderlands does it. Certain bosses can drop certain exotics, and those exotics are just out there. And then other exotics are tied behind quest lines. And I think that's probably the most balanced way for them to go forward, and I can't see them moving away from it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, quest lines are better. They're way better.
It's very fair. Okay, we have a question from Ostenso Jacob. He says, which characters would you like to see play a bigger role in Destiny 2?
I was going to read that question because I thought it was a good one. Good job,
I'm doing the questions today, Fallout, so get used to it.
Hey, I was going to say good pick, all right?
Replace.
You're not stepping on my shoes. Dude, I want to see
All
Cora Ray do more things. I like her. I think she's cool.
Classic warlock. Ugh.
Not just because she's a warlock and like a crucible
Yeah, and she was
lord.
using the shotgun in the trailer, and I was like, oh, my heart.
Baby.
My heart.
Everybody expects Cade as an answer, right? So I mean, you can't just you can't throw that out.
We all love Cade, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Cade. But Destiny 2 is not the Cade show, right?
I got my answer. I want Varix. I want him to have some sort of badass fallen shit
there
that
you go.
comes
Yes.
in. All right, that's what I want. Is Varix,
Dude, Varix's quest in Taken King is my favorite quest line. It's when you go, the wolves are trying to kind of rebuild, and they're hiding out on Mars, and you kind of just, you find them, and you just say like, no, you're all dead. I'm going to root this out before it becomes anything. And like Varix's dialogue while he's talking to you, it's like, you actually do feel like some time has passed. He sort of has a different approach to you because of your experience in the House of Wolves stuff. And it's just really great to have him kind of like have a certain respect for you, and at the end of the quest he's like I hope we have some more like missions together, and he calls you a friend, and you're just like, I feel like something happened. This wasn't a random like click boxes off of a window and shoot guys and scan something. I feel like time passed, and it so I thought that was the best, and I'd love it if he has a more of a role, especially with all this lore nonsense about the Fallen kind of leaving and Uldren maybe recruiting some of them. Maybe Varix will do something because the reef is fine, right? Our stuff should be in the vault over there.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, that one got blown up too.
Nah, dude. Yeah.
Gaul just hits the reef on his way in and just like...
The reef vaults are like the Pokemon PCs, like it's just they're just accessing the servers that are in the fucking tower. So once those crash, the gear's gone. Yeah. Obviously.
Man, that's a good point.
Call me an oddball, but I want the sweeper bot to get sick of it.
That's
I want him to throw his broom down and go, look, man, I am sick of it, and turn into the most evil raid boss or villain that you could ever possibly imagine.
Idea right now. If they had an exotic sword and one of the skins was a sweeper, like the broom, the sweeper bots, would that be the only sword you ever used again?
Amazing.
Done.
If I could kill him,
I would pay money for it.
If I could kill him one hit in PvP with something that looked like a broom, I would definitely be sporting that.
The R2 motion is a big sweep forward, so you sweep off the ground and up into him.
I'm trying
Smack
to
him up into the
think
sky.
of like
the
some kind of
face.
Suicide Squad. Like you roll in to fight Gary with Varix the sweeper bot and like Randall the Vandal or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I want the broom when you get like a triple shack seal. It's like sweep the floor with them, Guardian. Like I want that shit in there.
Its own little custom dialogue there.
God. Bungie, why are we doing your job for you on this podcast right now?
Once again,
come on.
We've got the ideas. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I want the factions to have more of a role. I feel like that was such a thing that was just lost to time when Destiny went through whatever it went through before it came out. But I mean, assuming they get those actors, there's some pretty big names, but behind Lakshmi and the gang, and there's if you play Clash is like Dead Orbit's thing, or New Monarchy is Control. Like all the games have a corresponding faction, so clearly like something meant to be something. So I'd love it if they have a bit of a role, and maybe they do. Maybe they're all, or maybe they're dead. But like, if the tower is destroyed, New Monarchy will want to do one thing, while Dead Orbit will clearly want to do something else in response to that. Yeah. And it would be great to see if they actually come to blows and have anything to do besides like standing in their corner, just going like,
because that's literally
what is the speaker doing?
That's their role. Is like they literally just hang out in the tower all day, like in these little spots and do nothing. Like what do you? And
we don't know who works for them. Like, are there people in the future war cult, or is it just Lakshmi?
Like he's just.
Yeah, it turns out it's just you.
I'm the only one. Like, I signed up to get the waltz, and I'm literally the only one in this clan.
Faction wars, I'd love to do that. That'd be cool.
I would be into that.
That could be a game mode, And I'd love to see them expand upon the faction quests. We got a little bit of that in the expansions for Destiny, but it's literally just go and talk to hub person, go do thing, come back and talk to hub person. I would love. Destiny 2 is promising a bit more of an expansive story. I'm hoping that has to do with NPCs that you meet out there in the wilds and whatever. And I would love to see factions take a part of that, because Bones is absolutely right. Each faction has a long story. They've got a lot of lore behind them.
Yeah.
New Monarchy is trying to basically take over the city in a democratic way, but rebuild it to recreate the Golden Age. Dead Orbit is saying, F this stuff. We're out to the stars. We need to find other places to settle because Earth is screwed. And Future War Cult's like, nah, brah, fights. Fights and stuff is what's important.
Nah, we should just kill him.
Just kill everybody, man. And there's so much lore there that I would love to see expanded upon in Destiny 2 via quests and whatnot.
I need to like brush up on my lore, because you're right. Like, there's a lot of it. It's not like right there easily readable in the game, which I hope they would fix. But I was doing the Year 3 Galahorn quest on my Xbox because I got it on PlayStation 4, and I just didn't care. I was like, all right, no more of that. And then last week I was like, yeah, I should probably get one on Xbox too. So I was doing it. And they put you on Bannerfall to like piece together. You remember that part of the mission? Like you go to Bannerfall.
It's so good.
And then my ghost was talking about like, oh yeah, there was some point when New Monarchy tried to like overthrow the speaker. And I was like, wait, what?
Yep.
Okay, first of all, when did that happen? Second of all, why? And like, why are they still allowed to hang out at the tower.
Just chill, like literally.
And not
like,
only
right
that,
by
they're
him.
like 20 feet from the speaker.
They're just
Like,
standing there going, fucking piece of shit.
There's some new cutscene where like a new guardian's coming into the tower, and it's like, well, I could tell you about the countless battles, and then some guy in a red hood just runs up and shoves a toothbrush into the speaker's neck, and it's like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, it's weird. I
Guardian
want,
down.
yeah, more lore, please, because like just little tiny snippets. Like I was like, wait, what? Like just more lore.
You can't just drop some shit like that. Like
No,
that's
you can't just
normal.
drop a bomb
all
like
of a
that.
sudden.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this reminds me of the time that Dead Orbit banged my mom. Anyway, back to the strike.
Anyway, here's this gun.
God.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Back it up, please. Like,
Yeah, that'll be like, there's no ghosts in the trailers because they're off somewhere, and then like when we regroup, they're just gonna have a bunch of weird stories.
Yeah.
Well, in the past few months, let me tell you what
Stuff
happened.
went down, man.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Well,
Yeah.
There we go then.
another week of raids, getting that gear, and waiting for D2 to come out. We are a few weeks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks away from the D2 gameplay reveal on May 18th, and that is definitely. I have a countdown app on my phone going, just like every day, telling me.
Yeah, I'm somewhat surprised by that. I mean, May is always when Activision gives the okay for their studios to start putting out promotional materials for their new games. That's usually when you see the first bit of information about Call of Duty and stuff like that. So I fully expected us to get like our first trailer for Destiny 2 in May, so we're way ahead of schedule on that front. But when they said we were going to be getting our first look at gameplay, I just assumed it would be a trailer. You know, it'd be like a 30 to 1 minute or 1 minute and a half of footage, really controlled stock footage in the Crucible and out in the world. But when they said it was going to be a live stream, like live gameplay of Destiny 2 on May 18th, what do you mean? That's 6 weeks cannot pass fast enough for me. I can't believe we're going to be getting live gameplay that early before E3. And I'm psyched about that.
Weren't we looking into some form of cryogenic suspension to try and speed that?
Yes. Gotta
now
wake up
we're
Walt
cooking.
Disney and ask him how he did it.
He said, "You woke me up 6 weeks before the reveal. What are you doing?"
That's what he was waiting for. What do you guys think we're going to be seeing in that?
Oof. I really hope for their sake they don't try to do PvP because they're just going to get so many people shitting on them immediately if they do that. Like the people are going to be like, the game's ruined. These guys are awful. Like, that's all that they're going to say. So hopefully just some fun,
Suboptimal
light,
shots.
light
I just want to.
PvE content.
I know you're joking, Mega, but I want to say again, I get nervous playing in front of 1,000 people on the odd times that happens. Try
Same
hitting
here.
any shots in front of like 220,000 people.
Yeah,
watching
when
a
it's not
stream.
when you're not like a fucking pro player who's great at it, who expects to have to do that. Like, that's just
Yeah.
Trying, you're
crazy.
like, I just want to display the last word.
Stuff. Yeah.
I'm just trying to show the kickback on it, guys. Please calm down.
No one wins this game. It doesn't matter.
I don't envy whoever the Bungie person is that's going to be the one who has to play on that Destiny 2
man.
live
For the
reveal.
first stream
First guy,
of Destiny 2.
Oh, I hope he whiffs some jump immediately and suicides or something, and just like that's just how it starts.
I want it to be Deej, and he'll just be like, all right, well, these are the folks on the couch, and we're going to go live to the new social space, and if I just walk over here, and then he immediately falls off and dies. Just like as soon as possible.
Like that time during the before Rise of Iron came out and they were doing the Rise of Iron stream, and he fell off the cliff into an out of play zone, but they had barriers turned off, so he was just stuck down there. Oh, that was the best.
They had to switch to a different dev's camera perspective. It was like,
go to commercial. Go to commercial.
Just go to commercial.
I wanted to cut to those bars, the no signal. Just we'll be right back.
interlude.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yep. Well,
Enough of this shit. All right.
then wrap it up, and then we'll do a quick raid.
Oh, I got nothing going on this week. I'm just hanging out doing raids. You can follow me on Twitter at bones_CR. And then you know what? Go check out crucibleradio.com. There's some new stuff coming from that other little show that I do. So stay tuned.
Ooh.
Fallout, what about you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Just Google Fallout Plays. You'll find me.
If it's meant to be, you'll find him.
If it's meant to be, you'll find me.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let's go the opposite way. Don't follow me on twitch.tv/Fallout Plays. I swear to God, if any one of you follows me on Twitch, I'm going to be pissed. Right? Just don't do it.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Mega, tell them where they can't find you.
Please, God, follow me. You can go to twitch.tv/HuskyRaid and join the beta boys, the beta squad. All right, we'll be getting shit on by the alphas all day. You can go to youtube.com, look up Husky Raid. Fucking type Husky Raid in. If it's not a old forum post about the Halo game type, it's probably us. All right, where can we find you, Story Maforsheen?
Well, you can do a very quick one. Go to the Planet Destiny YouTube page, and along the right-hand column, you've got all of us, icons and links and everything. You can go and subscribe. Easy money.
Subscribe.
There you go.
Subscribe.
Done.
Boom.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's control and it's guns that you've already been able to get. I guess if you guys really want an unbent tree, we can talk about the merits of the unbent tree, guys. How about that unbent tree?
The sky is blue and the grass is green.
There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Good show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next week. Same time. Take care now. Bye-bye then.